This is beautiful, bouncy, chaotic fluff from a Jacob sheep fleece. I washed and hand processed it in a previous video, and I'll link that here and in the description. Today I'm taking this bouncy and chaotic fluff pile and coaxing it into some organization. The tool for the job is called a drum carder. It's a big old hand crank machine that combs the fluff into bats, straightening and aligning the fibers so that they point in the same direction. This will make spinning the wool much more even and uniform and will make my life easier in the future. But like everything in this process, it does mean some manual labor to get to that point. I weigh out the fiber for each bat at approximately 1 ounce. This is entirely selfish and has nothing to do with anything at all except for what my own constraints are. 2 ounces is about what my spinning wheel bobbin can handle comfortably, and if I'm doing a 2-ply yarn, which I probably will do, that means I need 2 different 1-ounce bobbins of singles that I can then retwist together into a 2-ply. Put a pin in all of that though, because spinning will be the next video, not this one. Each bat goes through the drum carder a total of 3 times. First in its fluffy chaos form, then I take it off and split it into 2 and then run it through again. This gets the fibers even more aligned. Then I do the same thing once more for good measure. The difference is pretty stark between the beginning and the end, and it really does show that the time is worth it. Speaking of worth it though, I am pretty sure that the time I spent hand processing the fleece before this in the previous video was not worth it. Despite all of the hours I spent hand combing it, there are still little noils strewn throughout this fiber source. I think this is one of those situations where this is just what the fleece is like, and I probably ended up wasting a bunch of the fiber source trying to get it all out, and then ultimately failing. I'm not terribly upset by it. I think I probably made it a much smoother fiber source than it would have otherwise been, but it's something I won't be doing in the future, at least not to the extent I did it last time. Getting the bat off of the drum carder is as simple as rolling it forward onto an old paper towel roll. Then I just scooch it off that roll in a single motion, and we're left with just this little cocoon of fiber. Then repeat, and repeat again. Eventually, the 1-ounce little roll becomes 10 1-ounce little rolls, which eventually becomes 21 1-ounce little rolls. The total weight for this fleece, post-processing and washing and hand carding and then drum carding, is 1 1/3 pounds. If I'd been less aggressive in the hand processing stage, this likely would have been higher, and I could have gotten more yarn out of it ultimately. But we can't change the past. And it still ends up being a fairly nice, robust-sized fleece for me to work with. And now this part is just completely for fun and for me. On a whim, I decided to braid one of the bats, just to see if I could, and then I decided it looked so dang charming that I wanted to do it to all of them. There's really no reason for this, it just gives me joy. I like how soft they feel on my hands as I move them through the braiding process, and I like how they look. Ultimately, I have to sort of split the bats up to spin them anyway, so it's not unuseful. It's just kind of silly and fun. And believe it or not, I actually used to have really long hair, so it's also a little bit nostalgic. Not that I want my long hair back. So enjoy some happy, cute little roving braids, just for the joy of it. Thanks for coming along with me. I know this was a fairly short video, but I just kind of wanted to share this process in and of itself because it actually feels quite separate from everything else that I'm doing. The next one will be spinning the fiber into yarn, and that is its own exciting project that I don't want to confuse with this one. Like always, I have a great time making these videos, and I'm always happy to share them with you guys. If you want to see more of what I'm doing, you can find me over at patreon.com/bequeermakestuff. We've got an active Discord server over there, and I like to share behind the scenes and cat photos back there too. Thanks to everyone over there who is supporting me. I'll see you next time, and we'll do some spinning, but until then, be queer and make stuff. Bye!